Tonight with a school safety solution in South Carolina. Since the Columbine school shooting in 1999, there have been more than 420 school shootings in the U.S. That's according to health policy organization KFF. It's why some schools and school districts across the country are now using technology to try to get ahead of these shootings and protect students, teachers, and staff. One technology in particular is known as a panic button. This week, South Carolina lawmakers are considering making them a requirement for all schools in the state. They're already being used in some South Carolina schools.
At the start of the school year, the system that we use was being used at Appalachia High School in Georgia, where there was a tragic shooting. 4 students lost their lives. But because of the system they had in place, teachers reported universally that they were able to lock down even before gunshots were heard, and that unquestionably saved lives.
Yeah, these panic buttons have been around for a while, but again, gained traction after that Appalachia High School shooting in Georgia. Here's how they work. It's a rectangular white badge about the size of a driver's license with a button there on top. If you click it 3 times, teachers can notify administrators about an emergency in their classroom. If you click it 8 times, it initiates a campus-wide lockdown. It would also alert first responders.
Hard lockdown still in progress.
Here. Nobody's hurt? No. Good, relax. We'll be back, all right?
Right now, only 6 states require panic buttons. Those are Florida, New Jersey, and New York. Also Texas, Tennessee, and Utah. But if it's potentially life-saving technology, you're saying to yourself, well, why isn't this already in all schools across the U.S.? Well, it comes down to funding usually. In South Carolina, in fact, there is no funding attached to the bill to help districts cover the mandated costs. And a fiscal impact report shows the equipment could cost districts between $90,000 and $10 million to install, plus thousands of dollars in annual maintenance fees. States like Florida, where the Parkland school shooting happened in 2018, they allocated $6.4 million in recurring funds to help schools implement panic button systems. The General Assembly in South Carolina has set aside tens of millions of dollars in recent years for school safety upgrade grants, but those only cover one-time costs. So lawmakers say they plan to speak with their colleagues in charge of writing the state budget about funding for the panic button initiative. We'll keep you updated. Coming up here on Your